look beautiful. Good morning, howdy freaking howdy. We're gonna go get rowdy. We're actually at the trail that we got flash flooded on earlier this year. We didn't get to finish it. We got to be able to go up the 2 obstacles when there was about a foot or 2 of water rushing down off the waterfalls, and we were soaked from the rain. So we just turned around and got out of here, so we never got to finish the trail. We're in the area. I wanna see what the end of the trail looks like, and we're gonna go through it and show you what it looks like without water. We're gonna show you what it looked like back with water, and we're gonna finish the trail. We are back at the same trail that we got caught in a flash flood earlier this year. After getting to safety and waiting for the flash flood to come down, we were only able to do the first 2 obstacles of the trail due to us being completely soaked, wet, and freezing cold from the downpour. Today, we're out for redemption and looking to complete the rest of the trail. We just finished up the hardcore poker run in Parker, Arizona, and we had a couple rigs from Cali passing through that wanted to hook up and smash some trails. First up is Chris with his 5.3 powered Rock Lizard. This rig is super wide, low slung, and has some serious stance. That's Chase up on the rocks spotting for Allie in her first new to her buggy that they both just went and picked up from her from Arizona. This rig has been worn in right, and it's an old Undertaker's rig. That being said, it's proven reliable and built to beat. She makes it up the waterfall, and it looks like her and her buggy are getting along just fine. So last time we came here, we got right to this point and everything was fine. Started to sprinkle a little bit, and then all of a sudden it downpoured, Virgil's buggy broke, and then flash flood. We had water blowing off this waterfall. Before I hit the waterfall, we get asked all the time why we call these rock walls waterfalls. Anytime we try to explain that it would be a waterfall if there was water running off of it, they look at us like we're crazy.
Everybody always asks us why you guys always call it a waterfall when there's no water. Well, sometimes there is.
Not so crazy after all. This is in fact why we call obstacles like this waterfalls. When there was all that water, I had to give it a proper send to shoot up it. Now that there's no water, I'm able to crawl it.
Like butter.
These rocks look like they have a lot of traction, at least when they're not wet.
I think dry is gonna be a lot more fun. It doesn't look like rain. I didn't think it looked like rain last time, so we'll roll the dice, see where we end up at.
Last time Virgil was in this spot, his rig had a wiring issue that literally almost had him dead in the water. I'm sure he was super stoked to have another chance, minus all the flood drama.
Alright, so I didn't wear Uggs today, but I wore flip-flops on the trail.
What's better, flip-flops or Uggs?
Right now, flip-flops.
Chris is already lined up and working the second huge waterfall. This one is a bit more undercut and more technical than the first, not to mention the soft, loose granite sand at the bottom. As Chris and Allie talk about the best line for her new rig, all I can think about is what happened here last time to a very similar build. With the undercuts and the holes not being covered up with water, Chase spotting her, and how well her and her new rig are working together, I think there's a good chance she can pull it off. These guys came from California all the way out to Arizona. They just bought this buggy. This is like the first time she's driving it, so this is pretty sick. What do you think? Are you stoked?
I'm pretty stoked.
Hell yeah. When I did this in the flood, it was pretty gnarly with all that water. But I think due to us turning our tires in that granite sand and all that rushing water, made the bottom of the waterfall deeper and the undercut much bigger. Or I could just think that because I couldn't see the bottom when it was full of water. Let's see how it compares when it's dry. I ended up taking a way different line than last time, and it does in fact look way more dug out. Luckily it's dry and I'm able to still crawl it. Virgil's buggy's built different than most of the rigs we wheel with. He runs a shorter wheelbase and a much narrower axle width. Due to this, he couldn't get the line that the rest of the rigs took. Picking your own line that works best for your rig is one of the most important skills you can learn, and trying different lines, even if they may not look like the best line, may be the key to unlocking obstacles for your rig. Virgil does just that and lines up to a steeper part of the fall with a harder breakover angle, but was able to climb it. It gets super sketchy having his passenger side right next to a drop off, but stays calm and crawls it. He then gives the throttle, allowing him to walk across the top ledge until he grabs traction and makes what is a much crazier line. You know, just when you think you get Virgil and you're like, ha, I got him. He takes some crazy wild line and figures it out. Drives me nuts. Plugging it in first.
Mom, it's not starting.
I can see that. He'll get it, it's fine.
Give her a little whack.
The starter?
Yeah.
Clearly you're using the wrong Morse code.
Chris's buggy seems dead in the water. We thought at first it was the starter, but it turned out to be the battery ran dead. This is the first super hot weekend that we've wheeled, and the heat always has a way of finding issues like these. Chase and I hop into my rig to go back to the trucks in hopes to find some jumper cables. We just got to drop down those waterfalls because the dang gang's battery died. Thank you, dang gang, because that was fun to drop those falls. We'll be right back at you with some jumper cables. Maybe not, we'll see. It's not looking good. Turns out that none of us had jumper cables in any of our trucks. However, Chris did give us a list of some random items that consisted of a battery pack from an impact gun, some wire, electrical tape, and some wire connectors. Not sure what good that's gonna do us, but I'm interested. So we ended up not having jumper cables, but we still made the ride down and up. It was awesome, it was so much fun. And we're gonna do some trickery. I don't know if this is gonna work, but this is crafty as all get out.
We're good, especially with the battery.
So this is an battery for an impact. We just rigged up some wiring on there. He did, I don't know how to do this stuff. And he says it's gonna jump this thing. If it does, my mind's gonna be blown.
Yeah, we just,
Go ahead.
it makes me want to do something.
Keep going. Go ahead.
That just worked. All right, pro tip and a hack. If you don't have jumper cables or a jump box and you get in a position start looking for someone with an impact, grab some wire, and you will also be back on the freaking trail. That was sick. Now that Chris's buggy started, it's time to find what else is on this trail. Remember, last time we turned around at the top of this second waterfall. So everything from here on out is uncharted territories for the Wrecked Gear crew. This trail is wild. It goes from super narrow to really wide, back to narrow again. This narrow section is super tight and has a pretty cool crack waterfall. Nothing too crazy, but really fun obstacle nonetheless. Here's Virgil on the same crack waterfall, but from the top side. You can really get a good look at how tight the canyon is behind him. This next obstacle is a crack/notch. You would think it's pretty straightforward, but the rock is extremely brittle and you never know when a piece of it's gonna break off and crumble right out from underneath you.
That was so sick! Look at all this. All of this rock just fell from right here. Right from right there. That was insane.
So this guy's rock lizard, I think it's, I don't want to mess up his name, but this freaking rock lizard has so much stance, it's insane.
It's all right, Jess. Chris's name is a pretty hard one to remember. Speaking of Chris, this guy was awesome, offering Colby his extra seat. Thanks again, Chris. That was such a rad move.
What are you thinking? I don't know, man. We'll see what's gonna happen.
You got this. You got it.
So I wasn't filming it, but this buggy is new to her. She just picked it up from Arizona. This is her second day with seat time. So this is super cool. I'm super stoked. So you gotta watch this.
Allie threw on her party hat, so you know this next obstacle's gonna be good. Sure enough, it's an almost straight up 2-story fall made of loose, crumbly rock.
So good.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was
It just crawled.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rad.
So I gave him flowers to put on his beard, and look.
Wow. Girly man.
That looks beautiful. Sometimes you just gotta man up and let your daughter decorate your beard in flowers. Then keep wheeling like they're not even there. Like a boss. We are now heading up and out of the wash, taking on some steep, loose 2-track to connect over to the Sandwash Highway. As we head back, I had some time to think about how beautiful and unique this trail is, but just a few months ago how ugly and scary it was during a flash flood. It made redemption so much more fulfilling. This run was also a great reminder of how amazing like-minded people with the same passions are. We had just met Chase, Allie, and Chris, but we had wheeled as if we've been wheeling together for years. I've never experienced a family quite like the one rock crawling has to offer. Sponsored in part by BF Goodrich Tires, Warren Industries, KC Highlights, and Axle Off-Road Helmets. Best way to support this channel is give that subscribe button a little skiddly-do, diddle that notification bell, give this video the fat finger, and leave a dirty little comment below. As always, thanks for watching.